Hello.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, Sean.
I need you to understand some things about me. You can't bully me out of a panic attack. It doesn't work that way. Every time that you start speaking over me, it makes it worse. When you were telling me just another half hour, no, I needed to take a break. I needed you to stop pressuring me, and at that point, you were just being a dick. And I know you don't like hearing that, but at the same time, the stuff that you were saying to me wasn't very nice either. As far as me leaving, when somebody's trying to pack up their stuff to leave, whether it's your house or not, don't bully them. I asked you to leave me alone. I needed you to do that. I needed you to not stand there for 45 minutes having a screaming contest with me. You made things way worse. And it's the fact that you've always been like that with me that is just, that's inhumane. I'm fighting this fight no matter what. Being dependent on you isn't something that I should have. I shouldn't have to be dependent on you. And the fact that I didn't have any support when I needed it is the reason that I was dependent. Whether it be on you or anybody else doesn't make any difference. The fact is, I don't need somebody yelling at me. I don't. I needed somebody to listen. Just one person to listen to what I had to say and actually help out. But when I'm having a panic attack, pressuring me and screaming at me, and when I'm begging you to leave me alone, I shouldn't have had to get to the point where I was screaming at the top of my lungs at you. That's a very hurtful thing to do. The things that I went through growing up, I heard you say repeatedly that it's not your fault. There's a lot of things that the rules are different for you than they are for me, and that's something that's not acceptable either. If I can't bring up stuff from 2 years ago, then you don't get to bring up stuff from 20 years ago. See, if we're going to have a conversation, it needs to be a conversation. For me, I'm not somebody who wants to have confrontation, but at the same time, after all the stuff that I've been through, I don't have a choice except to defend myself because nobody else is going to do it for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Alright, the other thing is about the Jeep. I was trying to tell you that I don't need the Jeep yet. I don't have the money to take care of it. I have to make sure that I can get my disability back first before this Jeep's going to do me any good. So right now, I got a lady who's in Colorado who's in desperate need of a vehicle, and she's got 5 kids. So I'm taking the Jeep to her. My account is in the hole because I wasn't able to afford the insurance this month. And that's the point of needing actual help, needing somebody there with me. But I need somebody who wasn't going to completely pressure me nonstop to do what it is that they wanted to do. And when you were treating me like I wasn't calling that dude, like, yeah, it's on my phone record that I called that guy repeatedly. He wasn't answering and didn't answer back. That's not a decision that I made, and that doesn't mean that I didn't make the effort. But a lot of the things that you assumed were wrong, and I was trying to explain to you that they were wrong, but you wouldn't be quiet long enough to understand that. That's difficult for me. It's your turn to speak.
Couple of things. You were headed in the right direction, but there's a little bit more to the help that you need. When you were talking about seeing a therapist, that was going in the right direction.
Yeah. And that would have been nice if I'd have been able to. I needed to be in an environment where I was worth listening to. I mean, all the stuff that I need to go see a therapist over, I don't need more stuff added onto the plate to that. That stuff in Colorado, I'm going to fight that whether you're in my corner or not. I wouldn't have needed your help. I wouldn't have. If the Bollingers had just left me alone in 2017, I wouldn't have needed anybody's help. I had disability coming in, and that was a good thing. Matter of fact, the only reason that I was going to see therapists is because of the bullshit that I was going through over things that I didn't do. And I was trying to get a day in court over that. As far as not making videos, that's something that helps me, and it helps me a lot. That's my video diary. That's so that anybody can go back through at any point in time and take a look and see what it is that I was going through. I needed somebody to actually help me. And with you absolutely 100% dead set against that, yeah, I had to go somewhere. I had to get actual help with the things that I'm going through. I have to be able to fight the courts in Colorado. And with you, every time that I brought it up, you started bringing up the money thing. Like right now, talking to you on the phone, that's probably the way that we should have talked while we were in the house. You're too confrontational.
You let me know when I can talk again.
Yes, sir, you can talk. It's your turn.
When you came to live underneath this roof, you didn't let me know even 1/10 of the issues that you were about to walk through the door when you came through the door. We probably could work out things as long as you weren't inside the house.
I can agree with that.
Okay. All I was trying to do was get just enough things lined up so that way you did not have to stay in the house, and that you were independent enough, and that you could go see the therapist to get the additional resources that you realize that you also need.
What resources?
You need to be able to speak to a therapist and to talk to people about not only the Asperger's, the autism, the Tourette's, the ADA, and so on and so on and so on. So that way you're able to process in a manner that allows you to move forward a lot more on your own, because you're fully capable of that. And I think that there has been a lot of things that have moved possibly that make sense?
Sort of, except that I had that card in Nebraska too.
Understood.
I give up my disability. What?
Let me know when I can talk.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I should have let you continue. Go ahead.
No. It's very important that I'm able to see when you're ready to hear me. The
Yes,
difference between possibly dealing with people in Sydney, Nebraska versus dealing with people that are near Seattle is probably the quality of therapy that you can get here, just because of the sheer number of people that they've dealt with.
As far as all that goes, I needed to be in an environment where I was comfortable. I needed to be around something familiar. You haven't really been familiar to me in over 20 years. When you said that disability, that it was just a click away as soon as I turned 18 in Washington State, that's not how it works. It would be nice if it did work that way, but it doesn't. As far as when I was in Nebraska, when I turned 18, I tried to get your help. I tried to get Aunt Mary's help when I was 21. I loved being homeless, and it wasn't the homeless part that I loved. It was the fact that I was able to help people, and I was with people who were like-minded, who understood. Most of the people who were homeless grew up in the system, just like me. They grew up getting raped. They grew up getting beaten. A lot of the white kids grew up being the only white kids in the facilities that they were in. So they know all about racism. They know what it's like getting beaten up for the color of their skin. When I turned 18, and there was that agreement with you and Aunt Mary before I moved in with her that I had to apply for disability.
Let's not cover that road. We've been down that about 100 times.
You're right.
Agreed?
Yeah.
So, Sean, when you came here, you were suicidal every second and every minute. Are you still that way now?
Yes.
Okay. So, that's completely out of my league. That's where maybe medication or a therapist, or maybe not, but that's the type of stuff that needs to be addressed. Where you're at now, are you going to be able to do that?
No. I need to see my loved ones, the people that I'm familiar with.
So you said that within almost 1 or 2 minutes of meeting me. So that was never going to change here. That's what you want to do. So I can't help that. When you get to a place that you feel safe and you're with your loved ones, then hopefully it will be as easy to get the Medicaid card there as it was here, and then you can pursue that. But I think that that's the only possible way that you're going to get help to get you so you don't feel that way. Does that make sense?
Dad, what I need in order to not feel that way is to have a safe place of my own. A place where I can make the rules. A place where I don't have to listen to somebody scream at me when they disagree, or pressure me into doing something and I have to do it or I don't get help. When I got that disability, I was saving the money to buy a house from a woman named Megan Christie in Chapel, Nebraska for $7,000. Had Natalie not died, I would have had the money to do that. Had Ken and Leah not stolen my money, I would have had the money to do that. I ended up spending all my money going to over 20 court dates before I had to actually break the law. Over 20 of them. Each one of them costing me money. Plus, I have to go see the public pretender on a different day. And then I got to see their investigator on a different day. Each one of those trips costing me about $100, because each one of those court dates is in a place where I am victimized, assaulted, and threatened. I did my best to go to every single court date. I needed somebody to actually sit down with me who could understand what was going on.
So, let me know when I can talk.
Go ahead.
I offered you daily to go back and talk to the Social Security office, whether we had to wait 10 minutes or 4 hours, that I was willing to do that so that way we could get the straight answers. If it meant one time, which it obviously did not, but 2 times or 10 times, we could have got that figured out.
The fact that I was calling them and trying to get a hold of them and jumping through all the things that you wanted me to do. There were things that I needed to do, and you were not okay with those things. When I said my loved ones, you got angry a lot, like I was saying that you're a terrible person or something. You kept saying, well, aren't we your loved ones? And,
we were the best at the exact moment. And sometimes life is just moment by moment.
You're right. I spent 5 days out here in Bozeman. It's cold as fuck. I'm parked in a spot that I was parked in maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and there was grass in front of me. Right now, there's 8 foot of snow in front of me. I got into an accident in the Jeep. Luckily, the Jeep was able to get out of the snow berm. I lost the money I had in my pocket. I went gambling for the first time in my adult life and made almost $100. It was enough to get the vehicle fixed so that I could drive it safely, and enough to hold me off the last few days so that I could go to McDonald's and get warm during the day and charge my electronics. What I need is for my name to be cleared. I still have people that threaten my life daily. I still have people who get on and want to harass me. What the Bollingers did was wrong, and they do need to atone for their sins. What those officers did was wrong as well, and they do that to homeless people all the time. And that's something that's just not acceptable. Most of the homeless people grew up in the system like me. Now, what the police do in Boulder is Nazi. No human being should have to go through that, and it's like that nationwide. The largest cross-section of the jails and prisons are not minorities. It's people who grew up in the system. People like me. People like Rabbit. The second largest cross-section is the homeless. The largest cross-section of the homeless population, again, is people who grew up in the system. People like me. People like Rabbit. People who have bullheaded parents, that's difficult to get past. When you got parents that think they're right no matter what, it's difficult. For you, when I was trying to explain to you the financial situation that you get to be in, being as you have somebody else in the household who has an income, and for years she worked and had an income, and you guys had a decent start, and before that, you were with Kathy, who had a job and made her own money.
Talk.
Do what?
Let me know when I can talk. We don't need to go over that part again, John. We did that road 100 times. But let me
We
know
haven't been
when
over
I
that
can
road
talk.
100 times. Every time I try to explain it, you cut me off. So we haven't been over it once. I'm explaining to you that financially, one person is not enough to make it. One person is
That's
not
why
enough to
many
do that.
people get roommates, not girlfriends, not anything
All right,
else.
Dad. See, there you go again. That's the whole point there. I've had plenty of roommates. Most of them have ripped me off. I've had 2 decent roommates my entire adult life. Most of my roommates didn't pay their portion of the bills. Most of my roommates expected me to pay more than my fair share. Most of my roommates made more than me and still expected me to pay that. The point is that when you have no money coming in, you don't get to have a roommate. I had money coming in until I was falsely accused. And then the money that I had coming in was all spent to try to go to court so that I could fight this. What the police did to me across the state of Colorado, I have evidence of. I could get a judge to requisition the information needed, but I need somebody who's in my corner.
So let me know when I can talk.
And the fact is, when it comes to finances, if you've never been homeless, you don't know what it's like to do it all by yourself. Almost everybody that I know who's ever gotten unhomeless has had help. When I finally was able to get into housing in Chapel, Nebraska, it's because somebody went in with me. When I was finally able to get the cops to listen to me in Chapel, Nebraska, and they didn't actually listen, they just pretended to, it's because somebody went in with me. You have to have somebody go in with you. And that's to get government benefits. If you're not getting government benefits, then you absolutely need somebody else to work with you. When I got kicked out of the shop, I was trying to make the world a better place. My ideas are great, and I've actually gone through and done not just the design, but also the testing on each individual portion. This isn't stuff that I'm just talking out my ass on. I learned about the plastics. I learned about thermodynamics. I learned about different ways to mold it. But that's important stuff. I went through and got an actual education in all of these things. And as far as finances go, like I haven't had somebody who's paying $500 worth of the bills every month in any place that I've been. And as far as getting a roommate, you still have to have the money for first month's and last month's rent. My money all goes to survival. And that money that was supposed to be coming in that I was cut off from, I didn't even get to spend that on survival. It all went to going to courts. I had to depend on others for my survival. Other people bringing in food. Other people helping me with rides. That's not something that I wanted. As far as being in a safe environment, there has to be people that I know there or I have a nonstop panic attack. When I was in Virginia, I had a panic attack. I set it up so that I would have a support network, just like I had in Boulder, but my support network fell through. That was not a decision that I made. I should have been allowed to go to court and defend myself, and the things that were done to me that were so incredibly wrong. You could speak out. Diane could speak out. Dana could speak out. Anybody could speak out. It's the fact that nobody cared enough to do so. And Diane, since Natalie disappeared, just like before Natalie disappeared, she doesn't talk to me. She doesn't try. She makes zero effort. So I blocked her. She is not a member of my Facebook friends group for a reason. And I typed a lot of really mean stuff at her. Typed a lot of really mean stuff at Aunt Mary, too. And I don't feel bad for typing those things. Those people, just like you, had a chance to be a part of my life. Of course, the difference between them and you is that at least, even though it was just stupid chain letters that they sent to 400 people, and that's literally all they sent to me, at least it was a reminder that they knew that I was still alive. For you, in 22 years, the only time you ever called me is if I called you first. 22 years of that, Dad.
Let me know when I can talk.
Your turn. Go ahead.
When we went to the Social Security office, and as we were finishing up, and a lady said if things had happened here in Tacoma, she could have made the call herself and signed out whether or not you could have got approved right that second. That she had to move this forward, and that person needed to go back to whatever state that he was going to go back and look at stuff for. So there's an issue there. That's got to be cleared up first, and I was willing to go back as many times as it would take, so we could have found out who we needed to call and try and get that right for you. Now, I don't know who is going to be able to help you get that done.
Yeah, it's a big major issue, isn't it?
It is, because you have no income, and you left this state, which had provided you with a Medicaid card that you could at least gone and started talking to doctors and tried to get some help.
That's the thing. Without my loved ones, nothing helps. Drugging me into forgetting people exist is not a viable solution.
I'm not sure what the solution is, but always thinking that nobody loves you and that it's everybody else's thing. And saying mean stuff about people and being hurtful to people is not the right way to go about it.
With all due respect, there are people that love me.
Please go stay with those people. Please let those people help you out.
I tried. The Boulder police prevented that. Natalie's death prevented that. Having nobody in my corner prevented that. You know, there are actually people who are trying to help me. The help that I was asking you for, there are people who are actually trying to help me with that.
And I was trying to help you with that, and you actually getting out of the house, going to the Jeep, and if you would have tried to work out a few things with me, we probably could have worked out some stuff. Or maybe I could have helped you out a little bit, so that way you at least had enough gas to keep yourself warm, and so on and so forth. And you probably could have stayed in the Jeep and in the area for a couple of months until you kind of got
That's right.
Believe it or not, sometimes become very hostile with just even a look, not even a word.
Nope, it took words, actual words, for me to become anything close to what you would consider hostile. You had to talk over me and raise your voice repeatedly about things that were too sensitive for you to talk about.
So keep in mind, everybody else in the house still lives in the house. It doesn't walk out and go someplace else to live.
You talk to me differently than you talk to them.
No, I do not.
You do. On at least 8 different occasions where I was trying to talk to you, you started talking down to me like I was a dog. When I decided that it was enough of being treated like that and that I was going to go upstairs, you started yelling at me. When I decided that I was going to leave the house, you were not okay with that. You kept standing in front of me, and you're the one that kicked me out. If you're going to kick me out, let me pack my stuff without being yelled at. On 8 different occasions, when I tried to speak to you in a civil tone, you didn't want to do that. You wanted to call Diane into it and gang up on me, and that is not acceptable. I will not be bullied.
What is not acceptable is the fact that you're calling me now and still trying to blame me when you weren't willing to even try and compromise.
I was trying to compromise. It's not compromise when it's your way or no way.
Listen, compromise would have kept you probably in the Jeep and me providing you with enough gas money so that way you stayed warm every single night and you went about your own business and you got things worked out to however you wanted to get them worked out, and that you used that Medicaid card to get the type of help that you really need. And that could have been something that was easily negotiated.
Well, then wouldn't it have been easier to negotiate that than it would be to talk over me and scream at me and yell at me and get in my way and refuse to allow me to pack up my things in peace?
So please don't try and use 45 minutes of where things went from 0 to a higher level and say that there wasn't any point that you couldn't have tried to bring it back into the perspective that it needed to be.
I did, repeatedly. I asked you repeatedly
That's
to
not
leave
what
me alone.
happened. For almost an hour, you screamed all kinds of stuff.
For almost an hour, you talked over me nonstop after I had attempted.
Didn't break, it was hard enough that the whole entire house shook.
The whole house shook, huh?
The whole house shook.
Dang, you got a way of telling stories, Dad.
No, Sean, you need to go get some additional help that I can't provide you with. And me talking to you is never going to change the way that you feel about me or the way that you interpret or see many things. They're your way.
Compromise means that we both make exceptions. We didn't both make exceptions. It was me listening to you, and if it wasn't what you wanted to hear, then you got hostile, and you drew Diane into it, and you ganged up on me.
Sean,
anytime.
That was so tiny and minute, and that's what happens in any family.
Really?
Let me ask you, how many times were you willing to hop in the vehicle and go back where we physically went to the Social Security office and tried to get things worked out?
I was fine with it every day. The fact that you lied earlier in our conversation and said that you wanted to do that every day, no, you didn't. You set specific days where we could go do that. And on those days, we went and did those things, didn't we?
No, we did it the first week, part of the second week, and then after that, all you wanted to do was just say that you were going to call, and I offered that we both go. You didn't want to go.
See, now you're lying again, Dad.
No, I'm not lying, because how come we didn't go, Sean?
We did
I was
go.
ready to take you there all the time.
No, you weren't. See, there you go lying again. That's a difficult thing for me to deal with, Dad. You need to be honest.
So, on how many occasions did, on my day off, that was still on the same day that the Social Security office was open, did I offer to take you there, and we didn't go because you didn't want to go?
See, there you go, saying that I didn't want to go.
We didn't drive there, did we? You didn't hop in my vehicle.
We did, and you said every day. Now you just broke it down to the days that you had off when they were open, which would be Friday. Am I correct? Is Friday every day?
There were other days that I was willing to do it, but that was my best day available. Is that correct?
Well, I don't know what other days you were willing to do it. You should have offered
Monday,
on those
Tuesday,
days.
Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday was my best day to do it.
That's right. And did we go in and did we do that?
Did that one time. And then all the other offers, you didn't want to do it.
See, there you go saying I didn't want to do it. That is incorrect.
Did we do it? Other than the one time.
No, we did not.
How come?
Because we didn't.
No, not we.
Because it didn't happen. No, you're saying that I didn't want to go, and I was not wanting to go, and I wasn't willing to go, and that you wanted to go every day, and that I wouldn't go. No, that's not how it was. That is not how it was. And I'm not trying to be a dick by saying that. What I'm telling you is that the help that I needed versus the help that you wanted to assume that I needed, based on you talking over me.
To see a therapist.
I am well aware of that. I was seeing a therapist, but I wouldn't need a therapist if I'd have had people in my corner. Do what?
Are you suicidal every second?
Yes.
Okay. Then you need a lot more help than I can give you.
No, I needed you to listen. Every time that I tried to speak to you, the only time that you were interested in anything that I had to say was if it was something that you wanted to do. Like that Forex thing, that money exchange crap. I downloaded that onto my computer because you wanted me to do that. I did that so that maybe
you didn't have to do that. It was just something so that maybe you'd have something else to think about besides all that other stuff that's just driving you absolutely crazy in the head.
That's the point. Is that it was do what you want to do, and you get interested, and you want to talk, and you want to do whatever. But if it's something that I have going on, no, you have no time for it. Zero time for it.
You said this stories and the talking that you're doing, just like you're talking now, for well over 50 hours.
Dad, this is one of the few times where you have allowed me to speak. We've had 2 phone conversations where I've been allowed to speak. And the fact is, each one of those where I was there and I was trying to explain what was going on, you didn't want to hear it. It was do what you want or I'm a terrible person. I am a terrible son.
No, that's not true at all.
It is true.
It's not true one little tiny bit. I was always, how many times did I say, do you want to talk?
How many times did I try talking and you talked over me?
John,
Every one of
sometimes
them.
you would talk like for 40 minutes and I would say, can I talk now? And then you'd finally let me say a little something and then you'd get upset.
Dad, that's not how it worked. There was one time where you listened to me. One time where you listened to me, and I thought, he's listening to me. And then, probably about 15, 20 minutes into it, it was your turn to talk. And I listened to you down on me and my quality of character and my content of character and the person that I choose to be. And then you let me speak again. And then I tried speaking after that, and you couldn't stop yourself but interrupt me every sentence after that. And I told you I needed to take a break, and you tried to bully me into another half hour. I said, no, I have major anxiety. I need to go for a walk. No, we need to sit here for another half hour, Sean. No, I am having an anxiety attack because everything that I was trying to explain to you, you didn't care about.
That's not true. I cared a lot about it. And I was hoping that every time that you would talk, that you would get further in the story. And many times you came right back and you would start almost at the very beginning and then try and move forward. And you've been telling your story that is caught up in a loop for almost well over 2 years now.
Really? Where were you 2 years ago?
Where I am right now.
No, I mean as far as my life goes. Where were you 2 years ago?
John, you get threatened me in the household so many times. Nobody
Threatened? That's the point, Dad. You know what? You and Mom have both gone out of your way to pretend that I have threatened your life. I have never threatened either one of your lives.
You twist the words. You try to make it sound like that's what you said or didn't say, but you said things that were so in that ballpark, it would be hard to say if you were threatening our lives or if you were just saying the word that I think that you try to use these days is it should happen. Not that you were going to do it, but that it should happen or something along those lines.
That's right. If you're going to treat people like shit for being homeless, then you should have to experience homelessness.
So,
if you are going to say that somebody should do it all by themselves because you did it all by yourself, then you should have to start off with the same things that I did. The same things I did.
Sean, you've come back into my life like probably about 5 different times. I try and help you out, and eventually you get so upset that you start threatening, and then nobody wants to talk to you anymore when you get to that point.
That's the point there, bud. Is that I need you to try to understand the perspective, and you're not willing to. I am not going to get the help that I need because I don't have someone in my corner.
Nobody's going to go into court with you at Colorado, and the day that they do that, all of a sudden the whole world's going to turn and work out for you. People have been trying to help you out since you were who knows how long.
People actually have helped me out. You're just not one of them.
Why not?
You are not one of them. Mom is not one of them.
Sean, that are out there to help you out and let them help you to the point that you get what you need.
Dad, I was getting the help that I needed. That's the point. I had people who actually helped me because you were not there. Because Mom was not there.
Because
you two,
Sean,
you chose not to. You choose to hear what it is in your head that you believe that the whole world needs to believe.
Somebody lets you stay in a room that we're going to be able to help you. It's way past that.
No, staying in a room in a place where I am verbally abused is not acceptable. The help that I needed, you didn't care to hear it. When I explained to you that if I get a job, I'm going to be denied for disability, and you wanted to argue, and I got that job.
All I've ever wanted for you is to have a really good job that you love to go to, and that everything works out for you, and that you don't need disability. That's all I've ever wanted for you in your life, and that you.
And if I'd have had a decent start, that would have happened.
Have kids, and that everything is just as awesome can be. But that's not where I believe that you are.
That's right. It's not where I'm at because I started off with nothing.
The disability, because until you visit enough doctors or therapists or whatever, that's the type of help that you needed and still need today.
No, Dad. What I needed was a good start. If I'd have had a vehicle and an ID at 18, see, this is the point, is that it's come back around to you being stuck on the same shit. You stuck in the freeze loop.
Sean, listen, I could have, if I had it, given you $20,000, but I don't have that kind of money. But even if I had, you would have burned through that money, and then it would have been back that, I really needed $60,000 in order to make it in life.
See, there you go again. It's all about the money. It's always about money. Dad, you're driving a Hummer too.
Listen, Sean, it takes money, unfortunately. That's a little bit how everything works right now. If you find a utopian area, then go live in a commune.
The point is that you are going out of your way to not understand the situation. When people age out of the system, we are... No, Dad, you are not listening. It's my turn to talk. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It is my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It's my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It's my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It's my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It's my turn to talk, and you need to listen. It's my turn to talk, and you need to listen. Are you willing to listen?
I'm gonna listen. Have at it. I'm listening.
You just talked over me while I was trying to get you to stop. I should have screamed at you at the top of my lungs and told you a whole bunch of really mean words. That's what I should have done.
Why?
Because that's what you respond to. If I'm kind and I'm nice to you, then you take it as weakness.
That's not true.
And then you try to bully me into doing what you want to do. And anything that is not what you want to do, there you go again. See, you won't hear anything at all. You won't hear anything at all that has anything to do with criticism about you. I am always in the wrong in your mind, no matter what. No matter what.
You're never always in the wrong, Sean. Nobody's always in the wrong.
Well, see, there you go. I needed your help.
I gave you my help.
No. You didn't.
Sean, you need medical help.
I am aware of that.
Staying in a room.
I am aware of what help that I need, and I was trying to get that help. Because you were not a part of my life, I had to try to get it by myself. Meanwhile, Financially, I have to survive. So survival is more important. Survival means that I have to feed myself. I have to find transportation to all of these places that you want me to go, that I want to go to, and I have to provide that for myself without a wife paying half of my shit for 20 years. I don't have a house. I don't have a roof. Everything is more expensive when you're homeless. And you could stop just once when I start trying to explain that without treating me like I wanted it, chose it, and deserved it. I did not choose for you to get locked up. I did not choose for Mom to choose cocaine. These were not things that I chose.
A BS excuse.
See, there you go with excuse again.
It is unrealistic.
See, there you go with the unrealistic thing again.
John, because it is unrealistic.
It is not unrealistic.
Happened to you. People weren't leaving you to run off and go do drugs. That's not what happened to you.
I didn't run off and do drugs. I was in the system because you were in prison, asshole. I didn't say you ran off and left me there to go do drugs, asshole.
Okay.
I said you were in prison, asshole. I said Mom couldn't stay off the cocaine, asshole.
Quit, Sean. That's not even true. You know it.
Really? Really? Mom wasn't on cocaine and you never went to prison?
Sean.
How long did you spend in prison, Dad? Did I put you in prison?
Sean, no, but...
No buts! No buts! You rubbed that shit in my face repeatedly. You rubbed that shit in my face repeatedly. I did not put you in prison.
What repeatedly?
The fact that I grew up in the system without parents was not a decision that I made.
Sean, you couldn't live with your mother.
Did I choose for you to go to prison?
With Grandma. You couldn't live with the other people.
What other people? What other people? When I was 4 years old, I went into the system. I was 4. See, there you go. It's what you have to say or nothing. I get it. I get it. You are always right and I am always wrong. I understand this. I am always wrong. You win. You win. I am always wrong. I am always wrong. You win. Later, asshole.